You hear that? Like the post in the street, a hole in the chest. You hear that? Like the post in the street, a hole in the chest.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, my people? Welcome to the Radical Latino Show. It's your host, the Radical Latino. I am doing another live podcast right now. What is going on? Shout out to everybody up in the chat. Shout out to Jose, Only JS. Shout out to Roy Chesh. Shout out to Babe Rodriguez. Shout out to Morena. Dak, how many countdowns? Yo, shut up. Shut up, Morena. It's counting down to until you hit the wall. No, let me stop. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody coming in. Shout out to Jazzy's podcast. Shout out to everybody. Thank you very much for coming in. This is gonna be the live podcast portion. You know what I'm saying? Just like I did it last week. I'm doing it again. You know what I'm saying? Couple of updates I gotta give you guys. For those who don't know, who are not on my social medias and all that, who isn't on Twitter or on my Instagram, remember radical underscore Latino underscore for both social medias. I finally sat down with the professor Milagros Ricord. She is pretty much very well known in the in the teacher industry and in the studying industry, where she knows a lot about the history between Dominicans and Haitians and all that happening in the island. So I actually sat down with her and actually recorded part of the documentary. You know what I'm saying? So definitely the movie right now is coming along great. I got pretty much two more people to interview, and it's pretty much going to be a all day, all week type of editing for me, because I'm going to be editing myself. I partnered with a editing studio and also a pretty much a media studio called Red Media. They found out, so the video, so the movie, they got in contact with me with throughout everybody else or whatever the case is. I ended up signing a deal with them. So pretty much you guys are going to hear everything that's going to happen within the pipeline. But so far, right now, I have a deal with Red Media. So definitely shout out to Red Media. You guys are going to start seeing more of their promotional things coming down on this podcast and all that other stuff. So definitely big shout out to Red Media. We are partnering in with me to do this documentary, do it right. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to be free. So don't worry about it. That's still going to be free. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like what Classy Cat says, stay brown and proud. Yeah. No doubt. Definitely. I'm going to start using that slogan, stay brown and proud. That's hard. So anyway, that's pretty much the update. If you guys want to get updated a little bit more, go to officialopenwoundsmovie.com. You know what I'm saying? Let me find out Radical's doing big things. Listen, all I gotta say, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. All I gotta say is that because of this deal with that I got, I shouldn't be even saying this, but because of this deal, y'all might see y'all might see the movie on Amazon, and y'all might see the movie on Netflix. Who knows? I'm just saying. Who knows? But definitely, this is a documentary that I wanted to do mainly for me, so I could understand a little bit more about it, and also for that's the main reason why I made it free. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to all you guys for supporting it. You know what I mean? Shout out to all you guys for liking it and putting the word out, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't even be getting these type of conversation starters when it comes to certain media companies. You know what I'm saying? Radical is going to win the Oscar before Jay. No. Don't say that. Don't say that. No. Don't say that. I'm still a little fish in the big pond. You know what I'm saying? I'm nobody. But remember, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't even be here. But anyway, so that's pretty much the only update that I have. So far, everything is looking up. You know what I mean? But as I always do in a podcast, we always talk about 2 or 3 subjects, and then we go into the main subject. Right? So nobody could get all confused. Okay, so one of the first topics that I want to talk about is, there was this rumor that came up on Twitter, that was circulating on Twitter, talking about Mr. Jeesse Lee Peterson might be homosexual, might be part of the LGBT agenda. You know what I'm saying? Part of that whole, LGBT crowd and all that other stuff, right? Then I decided to do some further digging, and I ended up finding out that there was actually a documentary made to basically exposing Jeesse Lee Peterson for his egregious lies and and homosexuality. And it's made by 21 Studios. And before I go out and say anything about it or put it out there, I want to share it with you guys. This is the trailer for 21 Studios, and I want to break it down just a little bit for you guys. All right. So without further ado, let me just adjust it right quick. All right. So here it goes.
So I just want to ask all you guys right now, have you all witnessed Jeesse Lee Peterson's homosexual advances, homosexual proclivities firsthand? Can I get a show of hands on that?
So I'm gonna pause it right there. Everybody pretty much, rolls their hands. This is a free join on YouTube. It's a free documentary. It's only like 15 minutes long, and it pretty much exposes a lot of Jeesse Lee Peterson's ex churchgoers and stuff, and saying that he's homosexual. So one of Jeesse Lee Peterson's main staples were about manhood, right? So one of the people from the manosphere who runs a pro manhood manosphere type of a conference came out and says, I've 100% confirmed the recent allegations against homosexual super predator Jeesse Lee Peterson, exposed by blah blah blah, lawyer up and sue if I'm bluffing you, fraudulent POS. So it's pretty much already downhill. It's been confirmed that he's done it. And I've even gotten to I even said my take on it. I said, let's be honest here. No one cares about Jeesse Lee Peterson being gay. The fact that he lied and was a predator is the issue. There should be there should be a new doc called Surviving Jeesse. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I said. But so the fact that now this is coming to light, is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised that a churchgoer, on top of that, a super conservative, right, is closetedly gay? Is anybody surprised in that? I got a couple of people in the back right now, and I'm gonna bring them in. The first one is Jose Negra. Good evening. What's up, Jose?
Good evening, Radical. Thank you for allowing me on your platform.
Yeah, not a problem, bro. Thank you for shouting my live out today. So far from what you were hearing, what you think?
To be perfectly honest, I'm a little surprised, but you know something? Whatever's hitting will eventually come to light one day or another. So if anybody has any secrets, just be mindful. You will be made known eventually.
Yeah, it's pretty mind blowing, don't you think? That somebody not only from that is conservative, but he was using the church as a way to lure people in and have their advances on them. Do you think that's a little alarming?
Well, the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, you do have predators in the church. As the only born again Christian here, probably that will be on your panel. I mean, that's a reality. But the fact of the matter is, We have to be mindful of who we associate with, and we do have to, be put everyone under scrutiny because not everyone is what they seem to be.
That's true. And the thing is, I want to make allegedly. Yes. Allegedly. This is all alleged. So let me just put that out there. Thank you, Morena. You know what I'm saying? So I can stay Mr. Unsuable for I don't know how many weeks running. Allegedly.
But
Let me ask you as a churchgoer, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to go to church as well. My wife is kind of like dragging me over there and all that other stuff, and little by little, I'm seeing their ways and all that other stuff. I'm not saying that I'm a super church goer, but I'm going there little by little. The way I see it is they have really good morals to live by. You know what I'm saying? But that's basically outside the point. My point is, as a churchgoer, right? There's nothing wrong with being LGBT. What I see that was wrong is that he was actually lying about it and using that to be a predator. What do you think?
okay, well, the fact of the matter is, when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, or as I simply put as the community, because I'm sorry, there's too many alphabets to remember. The fact of the matter is, the Bible does not put that community in a very positive night. Now, I actually did a live stream regarding the community. Basically, my point was just to explain who they are. It's not my place to endorse or to condemn, because when everything is said and done, everyone's accountable to oneself and whoever they pray to or don't pray to.
Of course, but the way I see it is like who cares as long as they're doing their thing. My thing is I have an issue with it when they are in true to themselves. That's my
Yeah,
issue with it. So do you agree?
I agree. And in fact, to be perfectly honest, and you forgive me if I state the Bible, because but that's part of who I am. We are taught not to trust any man because man can deceive. We are taught to trust God and God alone.
Mm. Look what Morena says. Tú sabes el nombre de los. Okay. All right. Um, I can't. Allegedly, having people like more than two come out with allegations like that. Don't you think that's a little alarming?
It is, and I will say that, and I say this: everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But if this person is guilty, I'm praying on people. I hate to be in that person's shoes on Judgment Day.
It's like let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. If Melanated Knight comes out with a video tomorrow talking about Denise Gonzalez beats me up at night, right? You know, really whoops my ass, right? And then after Melanated Knight puts that video out, five other exes of Denise comes out going like, "Yo, she used to beat my ass too," right? And then we find out that Johnny Depp has video of Denise beating his ass too before he became famous. I think I will go out on the limb and be like, yo, Denise ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? Denise ain't nothing to play with. You know,
Uh,
you know.
actually, actually,
Uh-huh.
you're putting me on the spot because you know that she's my cyber daughter.
Yeah,
So
exactly. That's why I'm putting you on the spot. That's why I'm putting you on your spot. So if Johnny Depp right comes out saying like, "Yo, Denise actually cut my big toe one time because he threw a coquille at it," right? And and the Melanated Knight got black eyes and all that. Would you believe those allegations and be like, "Yo, Denise, I think you got some anger problems. maybe we gotta resolve that. I know you Puerto Rican, but we ain't gotta be all violent like that. You know what I'm saying? Would you believe those allegations?
I haven't. Okay, well, as much as I love my side of the daughter, and she knows that I love her very much. I mean, if you have a whole bunch of people making the same accusations, it's kind of hard to ignore.
She said, "Well, you know what they say, crazy cats is the best." That's why AK won't leave my abusive. Oh man.
And you know what? I have a feeling sooner or later she's gonna hit me with the chancleta.
Well, she is violent. You know what I mean? She is violent. Remember, Melanated Night. With two black eyes, she doesn't have to ask you twice. You know what I mean? she doesn't have to ask the same thing
Wait.
twice.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta address Hazel. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on. Hazel said, if Denise beats you, then you deserve it. Oh, no, that's abusive, yo. That's abusive.
Okay.
That's Amber Heard type of mentality, yo.
No. She says an old, so that would be elder abuse.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. Now, moving on to our next topic right now.
Yes.
The gun rights for New York City. Pretty much, New York City's gun laws pretty much got overturned. Not only in New York City, but in majority Democratic states, they got overturned, and they pretty much got overturned for the good. So basically, the Supreme Court said in New York, basically, if you wanted to have a concealed weapon, you would need a reason for that, and a judge or a clerk or whoever needed to basically approve that reasoning for you having a concealed weapon. Pretty much, it's up to an individual. So you could literally have all the proof in the world, and that individual could be like, "Yeah, no, I don't think so." You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much up to discretion. So the Supreme Court said, no, this is unconstitutional, and this shouldn't happen. And it goes now that Supreme Court took that off. Now we don't in New York, if we have pretty much all the licenses we don't need to let the government know to have a concealed weapon. We could just pretty much have one. That's pretty much it. We don't need to give them a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, let me give you guys a history lesson. Back in the day in New York City, the only people that were able to have a concealed weapon was bodega owners, taxi car drivers, them yellow cabs, taxi car drivers, because taxi car drivers were getting robbed left and right in Brooklyn, in the Bronx. They were getting robbed left and right. You know what I'm saying? Up in Manhattan and all that, to the point where these individuals, these crooks, would use the seatbelt to choke a driver out, to basically have them give their money up, to the point where New York actually passed a law that was in 1970 something, and actually it ended 2 years ago. They passed a law that taxi drivers are not required to wear a seatbelt. They passed that law in order for those type of violent crimes to stop, but those were still happening. So they put in New York, they were like, it's okay for a yellow cab driver to have a concealed weapon. Now, the other people that were able to have concealed weapons is business owners whose businesses accumulated more than $10,000 a month. So if you are a business owner, let's say a jewelry store owner, right? And your business accumulated $10,000 a month or more consecutively for a whole year, you were able to get a concealed weapon. But again, all of these reasonings go out the window if a clerk just says, yeah, I don't think that's true. You know what I'm saying? But the people that they would just give it to were bodega owners, them jewelry store people and all that, and cab drivers. Those are the ones that they won't think twice about. You know what I'm saying? That was back in them days. In them days. Now, the thing is, now technology has gone up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things has progressed. You feel me? Now, as a as a person who lives in a state who's a democratic state, that pretty much crime is rampant all over the place, having strict gun laws to people who are law-abiding citizens doesn't mean a goddamn thing when it's criminally viable and very easy to get a gun in New York. I literally know 4 people where I could get one. It'll be rusty as hell, but I know. Allegedly. But that's my point. Criminals are not going to just say, "Oh well, there's a gun law." Oh well, that's not stopping them. What's stopping is the people who's doing a 9 to 5, who aren't in crimes, who live in these crime-ridden areas. That's the issue. And the thing is, what's really harming our people is not being protected. Let's keep it 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman just, she finished working a little bit of overtime. She lives in the Bronx. She gets that damn 2 train, gets off at 233rd, and she walking and pretty much up in there in them places. All the lights are not there. Let's keep it 1,000. In her purse, she has a small 22. And there was somebody. Let's just say a scumbag, an ex-scumbag, right? Let's just say an ex-scumbag like me will be maybe like a couple of feet away, trying to holler, be like, "Hey, mami, que lo que?" You know what I mean? I know for a fact she'll be scared as hell, and I will not be surprised if she pulled out the thing. It almost blasted me off. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that these conservative states are not thinking the right way. The way I see it is, I'm very pro Second Amendment. The way I see it is, everyone should have a firearm. Everyone. You know what I'm saying? Everyone should have a firearm. I don't agree with the niece part where, people at 12 years old should have. That's crazy. But I believe that everyone should have a firearm. Now as a New Yorker yourself, Jose, what do you think?
I think everyone, and let me make it perfectly clear, there is full control of their mental faculties. In other words, they're fully mentally sound. As long as they have the proper training needed to operate firearms, should be able to get a license to get a gun.
Okay. Do you agree that New York should be a state where everybody should acquire to have a gun?
Okay, I'm going to quantify this by saying everyone who is mentally aware of their faculties. And the reason why I say that, because the last thing you want is have some schizoid who's already, off his meds with a gun. But if a person is fully aware of the mental faculties and they're properly trained, he or she should get a license to carry a gun.
All right. Hazel said, "I hope more elderly get their concealed carry permits too, because they are being assaulted and robbed at such a high rate." I believe that to be a fact. I'm picturing Jose in a little walker, going back to his condo, and somebody's trying to get at him. His walker turns into, a shotgun, blast off, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like you've been hanging out with Denise quite a bit.
Oh, really? What makes you say that?
with the walker, of the thing with the walker. I mean, she already thinks I'm like ancient, even though I'm gonna be.
Bro, you're pretty much dust, bro. Come on, let's keep it 1,000, bro. You pretty much you're at the age where you start smelling things that aren't there. So let's keep it 1,000.
Rod, speak for yourself, and remember, you're gonna get to be my age one day.
Never. I'm saying this right. I'm saying this right now.
And so would Denise.
Wait. I'm saying this right now, and please, this is 100% true. If the technology exists where they could take my brain and my consciousness and put it inside a robot, do it right now. I fully consent. Go right ahead, because I know for a fact I do not want to. Aging. Hell no. Imagine me doing this podcast as a robot. I'm gonna be like, yo, my peoples, what's good.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine Denise doing Latin splaining when she's 90?
Yo. Yo, she's gonna be like having photos. And this is the memory of me and Jose when he went to a Tito Puente concert and broke his hip.
Oh, this is
she's showing the pictures and stuff. Oh, mad young, and she was like, "Oh, I remember back in 2000 and something. I had those heels. Me and M Night had a good night that night."
Denise, you know I love you, so let's please bear that in mind.
Man, Denise ain't gonna come up here and roast you, please. She's too busy doing her own thing. But yeah, the whole gun joint. Let me just get back to topic. The whole gun joint. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? It's a little insane. So the way I see it is, I think that the Democrats should just relax on this whole gun reform type of thing, because it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm dying from some overdose at 75. Oh, stop it.
No, she's gonna live to be 100 years old. Never mind that. Stop the cap, Denise.
Exactly. Yo, what's going on, bro? Roy Chess, what's up?
Good evening, Roy Chess.
Yo.
Yes.
Hey, hello, everybody. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. What's up?
Okay.
I don't know how long you've been watching the stream, but what are your thoughts on the gun laws that got revoked?
Well, I think that there's been updates since the Supreme Court ruling, because as far as I know, when I was watching the New York one, at least, they were saying that there's a stipulation that the state can regulate the how you get the permit. So they can't stop you from getting a permit. They can't say no, you don't get one without a reason, but they can restrict it. They can make the restrictions. You know what I mean? So maybe you need three forms of ID. Maybe you need
they'll put a little bit more red tape around it.
Yeah. So they're able to put some red tape around it so that they can stall the process. They can't completely stop it, but they can stall the process. And one of the things that they said they were going to do is make zones. So we already know that you can't do it by churches, schools, and they were thinking about certain population areas. So I think New York one was saying that if it was like 14,000 people, they can make it a no gun zone or something like that. Like they could limit it to even make it more difficult. So
I heard that too. I think they were trying to reach, because we obviously know churches and schools. I get it. They were trying to reach. They said
right.
They said they were trying to get supermarkets. And
they're trying to make it so that you can't
shelters.
really have it. You know what I mean? They're going to make it.
They're
going to make it so small that you can only have it in like 2 blocks.
Yeah. They said they try to put supermarkets and shelters. And the thing is, in New York, you really don't know what's a shelter, because some of these shelters look like regular buildings. And the thing is, and some of these regular buildings, some of these just apartments are shelters, so it's pretty much, you don't really know. And they try to reach so bad, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. I got Denise up in the room. What's going on, Denise?
What's up, guys?
What up?
Good evening, daughter.
Good evening, bendición, Jose. I heard what y'all were saying.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know, you be hearing voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Que
sure.
Dios te bendiga, hija.
All right. What are your thoughts on this whole gun law Supreme Court decision?
I am in support of it. Like, as a matter of fact, I've said it many times. First, let me establish that people that are anti this whole gun situation, they don't know, like, the majority of gun deaths don't come from mass shootings, actually come from suicides. Look it up. So on top of that, like I said before, I think every American, just like we are trained to know how to use a motor vehicle, we should be trained in school as a class, starting at 10 years old. I've said this many times on how to use a firearm, because to be honest with you, there is a lot of stigma around it, and the better, like, the faster you get around that and become familiarized with what your rights are, despite the fact that you might not want to get one, but you should become familiar with it instead of scared of it. And then based on the grades that you know, and then know the safe ways. Look at what happened with Alec Baldwin. He didn't knew the difference between a loaded weapon and an empty weapon, so he killed someone. If we teach this to every American kid, it's more likely for all of us to be safer and be less scared of guns. I think people are just scared of guns, and then they tend to compare, like, oh, we don't need guns like the UK, we don't need guns like Australia. But if you look at those countries, first of all, they don't have the same type of diversity that we have. They have some degree of it, but not at the same extent. And then on top of that, isn't the UK the same place that was protesting not too long ago the fact that they wanted to curfew the men because one woman went missing? They wanted to curfew the men at 6 p.m. What resources did the UK men have to defend themselves? And then I don't know if you guys saw the protests in Australia. That's basically a police state. Because when you surrender your Second Amendment rights, you're basically telling the government that they can have a monopoly on violence. And that's what people don't understand when they're like, ban the guns. Now, do we need regulation on it? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't think we should have them banned.
So what about the pushback? For example, the mayor, I don't know if it was the mayor or someone said that how are the NYPD supposed to take, for example, the difference between the law-abiding citizen with the permit versus the guy who's doing the crime? Like, he doesn't have a registered gun. So let's say Jose is the guy with the unregistered gun and Rad is the one with the registered. How is the police, he sees both people, like, let's say Jose tries to stick up Rad, right? How are the police, if they show up on the scene, they see two guns? How are they supposed to distinguish?
But in what decision?
Wait, in that scenario, obviously they're not gonna know because
right. That's one problem, right? That's one of the problems.
Obviously, but after the smoke clears and Jose is turned into his wounded hip, they're gonna take both guns and they're gonna have
for his head.
No. They're gonna serialize it. And then we're like, all right, Rad, Mr. Sir, God, Lord Rad, here's your gun bag. Your paperwork is all done and taken covered. We're gonna take the scumbag Jose to the precinct, book him, and he's gonna go through the 3 floors and bookings, and then
you got to look at it.
Don Poppy of the Puerto Rican gang.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something. The problem, you're not gonna know, but the probability, that's a possibility, but the probability that that's going to happen, it's so minimal.
Not if everybody has it.
But not everybody is going to have it.
Well, that's the problem. We won't know. It's hard to, how am I supposed to know?
But what is the likeliness that, okay, let's say, for example, that the majority, like 80% of the people carry a concealed weapon. what is the likelihood that the average criminal, the average mugger is going to come up to someone with a gun and try to do something to people that are training constantly on how to use a firearm? The likelihood of that is going to become more rare and scarce because people are going to become more familiar with firearms.
Right, but if I have the jump on you, like you're not going to be able to pull if I already have it. If I already have my firearm drawn.
But who's gonna roll the dice with that? Like, would you
There's
roll?
maybe,
Do you think?
like,
Do
you know,
you think? Yeah, but it's not gonna be common. Like
maybe it's not
literally,
common,
it's not gonna be common at all. Like if you think about it, you will have to be like a very desperate crackhead to do that.
right? The desperate
Because
people will do it.
yeah,
There's a lot.
a desperate crackhead will do anything for $5. But what is the likelihood that you cannot take down a crackhead? Let's just keep it real.
No, I mean, I think in
And then imagine that you have people around you that have a firearm as well. So the crackhead jump on you. What do you think they're going to do with their firearms?
right, so you're going to have multiple dead bodies, though. That's the problem. So that I don't think the police want that. So I shoot Rad, and then somebody shoots me. You shoot me, and then it's like
I don't think it's going to be like that, because like I said, if you're not a gun owner, like you have to meet actual gun owners to know that people that aren't, well, I think you know gun owners, come on, they are the most responsible people with life. People think that everyone that owns a gun is trigger happy, which is why I keep saying that this should be taught in schools, because the only access we have to know how gun owners operate is two bad examples, and that's police that's poorly trained and also mass shooters. We don't have good examples because responsible gun owners rarely use their guns unless they want to defend life. And that is why people do not know how gun owners think. You get my point? It's not like the minute you get that training, you're going to realize the amount of responsibility you have in your hands. And it's not going to be like that. Ask
but
any gun owner you know, you'll see it.
the training is not necessarily required so far. So that's up to the states to make that the requirement. The Supreme Court didn't say that you must have training that go along with the permit.
Of
So
course, but you have to, again, you have to then make sure that every state, it's the same thing with Roe v. Wade. Each state regulates that to a degree. And then on top of that, you're going to need to know how to use the weapon. I yet to know a gun owner that doesn't want to train in order to fire their weapon. They want to train because they want to aim. They want to learn how to manage their gun. So they're going to train. It's not going to be that crazy. It's the people that are scared of guns that don't own a gun today.
Well, they were also talking about the temperamental people. So every little altercation that gets out of hand may result in somebody drawing a gun.
Highly unlikely.
No, Radical takes my parking spot, and I say, "Yo, man, I was about to park here. Get your vehicle out the way." I draw on him, or he draws on me because he thinks I'm intimidating. I come at him in an intimidating manner.
Highly unlikely.
I wouldn't listen if.
No, I don't think in New York City it's not highly, like Manhattan is not. It's very common.
If I take somebody's parking spot and they're already drawing, I'm like, hey yo, I'll leave, even though I got a gun. All right, you got this, homie. All right, you do what you gotta do, bro. God damn, I'll leave. Because a parking spot ain't gonna.
No, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. People have fought over parking spots in Manhattan.
No, of course.
But it's happening today. That's my thing, Righteous. Like today, you have people that are like sane and normal at a massive disadvantage. I live in the city of Los Angeles. Now, if you think about it, here, this is Gotham City. This is even worse. This is Ciudad de Mexico right now, because you have people that could potentially follow you home and then rob you. There is rings of human trafficking out here. Now, Gavin Newsom is going to release 70,000 violent criminals on our streets, but then he's skipping the monopoly on violence. So there's no way we can shoot. There's no way we can do anything. As a matter of fact, I've always had, since I was very young, pepper spray. I have never pepper sprayed the wrong person. Never in my life had to even use it. But the thing is that even that is being regulated out here. Because you get questioned for that. You get detained if you use pepper spray. So you're releasing people that are known to commit crimes, and you're creating the perfect storm, but you're not giving us a way to defend ourselves. And then police are already overwhelmed. You don't want them present, and at the same time, you're not giving them the proper training. I believe that, for example, for traffic stops, you don't need a guy with a gun present to give a person a ticket for an infraction. Use those police for actual crimes and send gunless cops to those situations and many other situations that don't require a gun. But then that will require some kind of accountability on our politicians and many other, the police commission and other things, in order for them to do that kind of stuff. But going back to the topic, I don't think necessarily that we should focus on just that people are going to be less tolerant of one another, because like I stated before, the people that do not own guns today are not the ones that are trigger happy, are the people that are scared shitless in their homes and probably won't even carry those guns with them, even though they will have the right.
Yeah. All
One more
right.
thing,
Wait,
the mentally ill.
real quick, because I got somebody in the back. Real quick.
Yeah.
Bro, if I bring you in, do not overtalk people. Please do not overtalk people. Say what you gotta say. Land the plane, and don't be long-winded. All right. What's going on, Zach?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? What are your thoughts on this whole thing that we were talking about just now? I don't know how long you've been listening, but what was your thought?
Pro gun choice right here.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's your thoughts on that?
On guns, yes, I'm for it. I'm for my grandfather on my dad's side taught me that Second Amendment. He's a vet, a Korean War vet when he was alive, and he told me to believe in gun rights. I didn't believe it until I actually left and went to El Paso, went to Job Corps, not the far from Juarez, and there were a couple of times the dudes tried to test me, and they're lucky I didn't have that with me. And there was a place to go train to have a gun, and I didn't want to get in trouble with Job Corps because I was a student, but I was going to use my refund money to go ahead and get the training. But yeah, I'm for gun rights.
Gotcha. All right, cool. And it's a perfect time that everybody just came in right now, because I'm just gonna move on to the main topic pretty much. Roe versus Wade. Is that negatively affecting Latinos, or is that going to be negatively affecting Latinos? Now, I got a couple of stats that I got to throw out there, but before I do, I want to just put it out that, who first of all, who knows what Roe versus Wade is? Who knows that?
I do.
I do.
I do.
I know as well.
I know.
Okay, so pretty much everybody knows. For people who don't know, it was some lady that wanted an abortion because she, based on her testimony, she got gang, whatever, and she that's the reason why she wanted an abortion and all that other stuff. Texas said no. She lived in Texas at at one point, and then they said no, and then she put it up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, yeah, go right ahead. Everybody needs to have their choice. Now, the Supreme Court basically said it's not up to us anymore. Pretty much the state, they need to do what they got to do, right? Before I go into this whole thing, I just find it extremely hilarious how a couple of months before, people were bending over backwards and not knowing what a woman is, but when people go like, okay, cool, yeah, we're gonna take their rights away, everybody go like, what? You know what I mean? So now everybody knows who a woman is, and everybody wants women to have the right to abortion and all that other stuff. It's just
I thought that men could give birth. Isn't that what we were being told all these years?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Transgender men.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
let's
I got so much.
So can transgender men have an abortion?
Yes, they can.
I don't know, man.
Yes, they can. Because
I'm pretty sure there's a way out. Like these ladies can actually just say they're transgender men.
Danny, I know. I looked into she lied. She said that
she did.
She got gang assaulted, and all that other stuff. Yeah, she lied. I know about
She
it.
did.
So I want to go into this whole thing. Before I do, I got a first of all, I got a video to show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that video, hold up, let me just because I already saved it. So good thing. Yeah, good thing. So I already
And
said it. So I got a video to show. Everybody, please, if you so mind, please mute up. But before I show this video, I find it very interesting. I don't know if anybody heard what they said with Donald Trump. They said this is what life protecting white life is, or something like that. I don't know if you guys saw that.
She was grateful because, and that was clearly a typo, but basically what she said is that she was grateful for defending white life, which
mm-hmm.
makes sense given the fact that 60% of abortions are performed in white women.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Can I mention something?
go ahead.
Okay, that was it was Barker Sackner who was paid by John Rockefeller Jr. to promote that eugenics movement, and it was Nixon. It
Oh
wasn't the
yeah,
Democrat.
I'm about to get into that. I'm gonna get
Okay,
into that.
and
Yeah.
she became.
I'm gonna get into
Oh,
that. I'm gonna get into that. Just I get you. Just hold your horses for a little bit. I'm gonna get
about the
into all
woman.
of that. I'm gonna get into all of that.
Okay.
So first of all, I want us to see together like a family. This video right here, and I'm gonna refresh it because for some reason it started playing. And all that, and my internet is acting up. Come on. All right, here we go.
On behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
And right now, white people are really frightened. If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book, The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute. And he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, the main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country. He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you almost exactly what he says. He says there are three things we can do to solve this. Number one, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. Then once again, he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those wanting to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you?
Okay, so I wanted to play those two videos together, and I wanted to hear people's opinion on this whole thing, and then I'm gonna go into my little spiel. First of all, do you guys agree with what the lady said and all that?
Yes, I do. Partially yes and partially no.
Okay.
She's right about the whole abortion was a racial thing,
Yeah.
and it became a problem when white people started losing their pure white people started losing their population. But it was meant for us of color when
Yeah.
Margaret Sackner and Nixon was the one that made abortion legalized. A lot of people realized he was a Republican first, but then when it became to like crack, when it came to the minority of when the white neighborhoods, you had Nancy Reagan.
Yeah.
Right when we came to white people, she said just say no. But it was we was getting as long as African American saying people, Spanish people getting killed, it was all right. Well,
Gotcha.
but when it came, yeah. So that's why I have to disagree. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move it to Jose. Do you agree or disagree with what the lady said?
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, since 60% of the abortions are done by Caucasian women, if they really want to do, make sure that they maintain their numerical superiority, the number of abortions must be reduced, because that's realistically, I think that's the only option that they have. If they increase legal immigration, that's not going to increase the number of Caucasian people entering this country.
Yeah, I would say on paper it might, but realistically, it wouldn't. I'm gonna go to Roy Chess. Roy Chess, well, what do you think about what the lady said? You agree or disagree?
I think that was the intent. I agree with that. With this was the intent of them doing this, but I don't think that's the reality. I think that it makes no sense because, like most people are not white. So if you stop abortions, you're increasing the other populations along with the whites. So if you're already outnumbered, how is that going to equal it? Like it doesn't make sense unless you allow it for the minorities and not yours.
Gotcha.
So they messed up there if that's the case.
Gotcha. What about you, Denise? Do you agree or disagree?
Uh, I agree with partially with like the whole you know what? I'm gonna disagree altogether because data, okay? Data tells us that the majority of women in welfare are white women. Okay. So basically the majority of us is not on welfare. That's right off the bat. Like we already know white people are the minority, even though they try to include some other folks into their little minority to beef up their numbers. But in reality, they are the ones in welfare, so they're already providing for the majority of their women and women of color. Now, another thing I disagree, and this is something that we talked about last week, and that is the fact that illegal immigration is not people of color that migrate here, and that is a misconception that many white folks and American folks have today. Latinos were never people of color unless you were Afro Latino. We already know that because we were not affected by Jim Crow. We were among whites. We were classified as white and known as white. Till this day, we're considered white to a degree. Only self identifying Afro Latinos or brown folks are not considered white by themselves, but that's not what the system says. So I don't necessarily agree with her. I think she needs to do a little bit more of research on that because, like I said, data and history disagrees with her 100%.
But Denise, she's an elder. She's older than you. Maybe she knows more than you what you think.
Oh hell no! I
Oh,
probably.
word?
I mean, she's a scholar on racism and the Spanish Inquisition. I've seen her in other interviews, and she's very knowledgeable about these things. However, when it comes to this stuff, the fact that our history as Latinos here and our inception has been erased and derailed on purpose in the 70s, then tells me that she didn't look further because that's hidden history of Latinos here.
Gotcha. Okay. I got Rock him in the building. What's going on, bro? You're muted, bro. You're muted. Gonna unmute yourself, man.
Yo,
There we
yo,
go.
yo, what's going on, Rad?
Yo, what's going on, Rakim? You wanna voice your opinion on this video that I played?
Actually, I didn't get to see it. I'm just stepping inside my home. Can you
Oh, okay. Yeah.
can you play it?
I'll definitely replay it. Hold on. Here it goes. Let me just refresh it real quick.
Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
And right now, white people are really frightened. If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book, The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute. And he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, the main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country. He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you almost exactly what he says. He says there are three things we can do to solve this. Number one, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. Then once again, he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those wanting to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you?
So that's pretty much what was said. Now I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts, bro?
Well, I mean, I can only speak for my group in particular. Black Americans been known that's what was going on. You know, you're talking about a group of people that tried to eradicate us out of this country. You know, we were just the only group they couldn't send back nowhere because they forcibly brought us here. So this has been going on, at least with my people, through experimentation, through incarceration, crime, lynchings, uh, anything you can name of, denial of FHA loans, like anything that you can name of. So we know white supremacists very, very well. I think we know white supremacists more well than any other people. I think what, you know, with a lot of groups, they don't feel like it's, you know, none of their concern until it's actually brought to them, and is being brought to them now. So now they're a lot of people are concerned about it, especially with, you know, them talking about building a wall on the southern border of the United States. So I mean we know. I mean, we've been knowing this is what was going on. This is the main reason for Roe versus Wade being in reversal. Everything else is just the after effect.
Yeah. And outside of the historical things, I want to tackle this socially for 1 second, especially when it comes to men and women on Twitter. And also I put this on my Instagram, which I'm gonna talk about in a minute. On Twitter, I put I don't know if people can see. Can y'all see that now? Can y'all see it? Wait, hold up. Let me see. All right, can y'all see it? Y'all can see it, right? All right, cool. I said, well, Roe versus Wade was overturned, which I'm not happy about because, to be honest, I want women to choose. They want to do whatever they want. Let women choose. Now, I do understand that Roe versus Wade was a stepping stone for promiscuous women to have the freedom to be hoes and have the responsibility for those actions was abortion. Now, I believe, and then I continue down here, that women would be more cognizant on their birth control options, which opens the door to abolish child support. Another law to erase accountability from women's actions. Bet you women will choose correctly if being a single mother is a burden, not a privilege. Now, I said that. I said that, kind of ruffled some feathers. I even had somebody hit me up on, I put it on Instagram. A lot of people hit me up on Instagram, but there was a certain person.
I'm gonna post you on my Instagram and said, look at this patriarchal bullshit trash man dust bucket trying to tell us.
So this person by the name of Cubanita hit me up, and she, you know, me and her had a conversation. We ended up somewhat agreeing, you know, but she was bringing up a lot of good points, and that basically was that it's not basically just all women's fault, and I get it, but in the same time, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Majority of women have the choice to get pregnant or not. Women have a lot of birth control options. The only birth control options men have are two. Well, I could say three. Kind of is pulling out a condom and vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? But
there's a pill.
No, there's no pill. That's
no. There is a pill for males. Actually, if you go to your urologist, as you should, to go have your eggplant checked, as you should, you would know.
With our Twitter that you're not banned for that, bro. I have no idea. Sometimes I'll be giving some hot takes, and I'm surprised I haven't gotten banned, yo.
That's because you voted for AOC. You have passed.
I did vote for AOC.
Shame on you.
I know.
I love AOC.
I know. Okay, all right. I know.
I love AOC.
She got
no
me when
comment.
she was talking about. She got me when she was talking about white supremacy.
Can I say
like, these white supremacists need to get? I'm like, oh my gosh, she said white supremacists. That's it. I gotta vote for her. I mean, but before I say anything, do you guys think that abortion somewhat was a door opening for these promiscuous women to not have accountability amongst their actions?
Yes, I was born
No.
79. My mother was like that. I mean, I don't like my parents. My dad, well, there was a sexual revolution, and I was born 79. I'm the child of it. And my
Okay.
mother was trying to get my dad get her pregnant by my dad so she can get some money because my dad was middle class, and she just came out the country to the hood. So not to tell my personal business like that, but yes. So when I hear women say, blame men for their problems, no, my dad was not trying to get anyone pregnant. You know, he was having fun. And my mother, I'm the fourth child. So yeah, and I'm the only child to my dad. So that's why that when I hear those stories that it's the men's fault. No, my mother was trying to get men married to her so she can get some money.
Gotcha.
And I'm the proud of that.
All right, cool. Jose, what is your thoughts? Do you think that some promiscuous women are using this as a thing just to not have responsibility?
Okay, okay. Let me put it to you this way, and this is something we must bear in mind. It takes a man and a woman to engage in sexual fun. Okay, so I don't believe in putting all the responsibility on the female. Part of it does belong to the female because she chooses to share her body with whomever and whatever she wishes.
Well, she also chooses to stay pregnant, right?
Okay, if I may continue.
I'm just asking. I'm just saying.
I understand that, but and this is something that I discussed on my stream earlier today. Okay, there are over 30 different types of birth control for both men and women.
No.
Okay. I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about there's 30 for men and it's whatever. I'm just saying in general. Okay. In general. I mean, for men there is the condom, there's a vasectomy, there is a pill. For the woman, there's over 30 different ways of birth control. So, if a person going to engage in sexual activity and wants to avoid not just pregnancy, but sexually transmitted diseases, then it will be up to them to use those devices. I find it hilarious when they decide to engage in unprotected sex, and then the woman gets pregnant, and it's like, oops. There's no such thing as an oops. You decide to engage in activity without taking all the precautions necessary to prevent not only an unwanted pregnancy, but sexually transmitted diseases. Now I belong to a union, and I've been hearing ever since this came down. This is the death knell for women's medical rights. It's like, people, please. Okay, if you really want to avoid unwanted pregnancy, take the necessary precautions. Now, when it comes to sexual assault or putting the health in danger, that's a different situation.
Yeah, but that's very low though, because a lot of people think that Roe versus Wade is overturned. It's over. The thing is, the Supreme Court is saying this goes back to the states. That's exactly. That's all it's saying. And if you live in a Democratic state, majority of the time you're gonna have that option. That's fine. The thing is, if you live in a Republican state, you're screwed. But you can vote with your feet. You could literally go to a Democratic state and have it. That's good.
But
you know what? Can I say something? Oh, go ahead, Jose. Go ahead.
But you know what the hypocrisy about all this? The Democrats had 49 years to codify reproductive rights. Okay? Roe v. Wade came into being in 1973. All of a sudden, in 2022, the Democrats decide, we got to codify reproductive rights. People, they had 49 years to do so.
But there's a reason why. There's a reason why they did it now.
Okay, Roches, if I can just allow to speak.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is, if they were truly serious about reproductive rights for women, they would have codified this years ago. This is just a weak ass attempt to try to get themselves reelected.
I agree. I
No,
agree.
no.
I
They
agree.
didn't have a reason to do it
I
before.
don't see it.
I
Yeah,
disagree.
They
Rocha,
only have a
I
Rocha,
conservative.
see it.
wait.
They have a
Rocha, go
conservative.
ahead.
The reason why they did it now is because now they know that the conservatives were going to do this, so they didn't worry about it before. They didn't have a threat to Roe versus Wade before. Now that they set the deck, and now let's say now they want to play cards after they set the deck. That's why they did it now. That's why they waited this late. So there's a reason why they didn't do it before. It was no threat.
I believe Joe Biden was behind it because Joe Biden was a Dixiecrat.
And again, I don't think that this is about abortion per se. You do know that the reason why, because nobody's touched on it yet, and I keep having to point it out, that if you read the 1973 opinion written by Judge Blackman, Henry Blackman, I believe, or Harold Blackman, one of the two. I don't remember his first name. Blackman is the judge that wrote it. He established Roe versus Wade based on something called privacy rights, which is not in the text of the Constitution. So when you hear the Republicans say this silly phrase that it's not a constitutional right, yes, that's true, but neither is wearing sneakers. That's not a constitutional right. Getting married, that's not in the Constitution either. Brushing your teeth, that's not in the so it's kind of a stupid argument to say that the reason why we overturned it is because it's not written in the Constitution. There's a lot of things not written in the Constitution.
Yeah,
so
but
the
you have
issue
to.
the issue is the privacy rights, not the sex.
Let Denise go. Go ahead, Denise.
But look at this is the thing. It's not in the Constitution. Not okay. The reason why they got that argument, it's a little deeper than that. Just like, oh, it's not in the Constitution. What's not in the Constitution is because that's a misconception that people got. In 1973, with the Roe v. Wade precedent that the Supreme Court just overturned, what they basically said is that you could kill the living thing growing inside you that will turn into a baby. They never said it was not. I think someone's having a feedback.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It never said that it wasn't alive. They never said that. They just authorized women to kill it.
Right,
Get my point?
It's a privacy right, though. That's the issue.
But this is
still not addressing the privacy.
I understand the privacy part, but the thing is that when does life begin? They're stating that life begins at conception, and some states no, but some it does, because what makes your life more important than the fetus life? You get my point? And that is the problem that people are not understanding. It's not about your constitutional rights per se. It's the constitutional rights of that baby. And the reason why they're bringing it up.
Wait, real quick. I got 22 people. I only got 17 likes. If you guys hate women, hit that like button. And hit that like button, okay? Because Ho's mad because Roe versus Wade. No, let me stop. No, just hit that like button.
This is my thing. Most abortions, 90% of abortions happen between the weeks 9 and 13. At that point, your baby has a brain, a heart, a heartbeat. It has the digestive system. It has a spinal cords and the complete vertebra. It can make a fist. It has nails and scratch his head. It has eyes, ears, and everything in between.
By when?
Everything
By when?
by week 8.
Oh, okay, so week 7 we good.
Yeah, so that's why they made the law 6 weeks, so that
exactly,
they trying to do some slick stuff.
Because at 6 weeks, the heartbeat is not even detectable at that point. So
right,
there's
they wanted to get rid of it.
Even certain parts of the baby are still not formed completely.
So by 6 weeks is a parasite. That's what you're telling me.
No, it's always a parasite.
It's basically at that point. It's just basically a very poor form of life. You get my point?
There's a lots of forms of life. Plants are a form of life. Roaches are a plant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I understand that form of life that you're talking about, but what I'm saying is when that baby already has a heartbeat, okay.
Technically, it's not a baby though.
But that's beyond the issue. What I'm saying is when something already has a heartbeat, what do doctors use to declare someone dead? Is it your heartbeat or is it the presence of signs of life?
It's
It's
the
probably
heartbeat.
No, it's your
Can I
heartbeat.
say something?
No,
Wait,
but
real quick, real
let
quick,
me
real quick.
finish. It's your heartbeat. So when there's a heartbeat already that starts being detected at week 8, by week 9 and 13, which is when women have an abortion for 90% of the time, it's already a form of life that's completely formed.
Denise,
It
But it's
doesn't
not
matter.
covered in the
wait,
Constitution.
wait,
It's not
Denise,
But
covered in the
that-
Denise,
Constitution.
It
Denise,
is covered under the
real quick, real
Constitution.
quick. Denise, I could kind of poke holes on that because there's coma patients with no heartbeat, there's vegetative state, but their brain is still working and they're living off tubes and machines.
They do
You
have
know
a
what I'm saying?
heartbeat. They do have a heartbeat.
No, they don't.
No,
The
they do.
machine is doing it for them.
Exactly, I know, but there's brain activity already.
No, that's
why
what
they
I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. The only thing alive is the brain activity. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
but
about
there's
it.
people,
But they're still alive though.
Exactly, but there's people. This is the thing. There's three different people that can go into coma. People that have no brain activity but have a heartbeat and they're kept on that coma until people like their family members acknowledge, hey, the person's no longer there. There's no brain activity. You have to let them go. Usually within days that happens.
So
there's the people that have both brain activity and their heart continues.
function, yeah.
And
they would
there's
still
people.
and they would still choose to take the tube out, right?
Yeah, that's the decision. Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. And the way I see it is, when it's inside women's belly, the way I see it is, it's just a lump of cells. Anything could have a heartbeat. There's videos on YouTube. There's literally videos of YouTube of people having mouse hearts, pumping it with blood and oxygen, and it will have a heartbeat. It doesn't mean that it's alive.
I understand that, right? But you have to understand this. A person in a coma is not a baby in the oven. A baby in the oven will come out.
And a heartbeat doesn't mean that you're alive.
Hold on. The result of leaving that baby in the oven is not that the baby is going to stay in that vegetative state for an X amount of time. Whereas the person in coma, the reason why it's authorized for them to just be disconnected is because, of course, we don't know. It's X is unknown when they woke up, if they will ever wake up. Most of the times it's for financial reasons that they do that.
No, I get what you're saying, but the way I see it is,
with the baby,
a heartbeat doesn't really determine you're
not
alive.
Just a heartbeat.
I could cut a roach's head off and the heart is still breathing, going strong.
It's not gonna stay there because you severed the neural nerves.
No, I get it. No, I get the scientific backing of it, but what I'm saying is, I don't see a heartbeat.
It's not just a heartbeat.
Oh my God, that thing's alive.
It's not even a person. That's the problem.
But this is the problem. Okay, it's not just a heartbeat. You guys are missing the point. What happens after week 8, your baby has everything any human has. I want you guys to understand that. A fetus at week 8 has everything you and me have today. Everything that happens after week 8 is growth. Nothing else. It's just growth and movement. The baby is completely formed. And that's what people are not understanding.
Some dude named Joe Biden to say, what's going on, bro?
What's up, Radical?
Yeah, what's up?
I've been watching you since the Cheapo days.
Oh,
come
word?
in peace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How come you ain't coming up, man? You just keep on putting that gift up.
See me?
Yeah, I can see you now. What's up?
Okay.
So what's up? What's going on, bro?
What's this Roe versus Wade thing about?
You don't know what the Roe versus Wade thing is about?
So they're trying to get rid of abortions?
I think they already did that.
Oh.
Yeah. What is your opinion on it?
I think women should have the right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of got mixed feelings about it.
Got it. So what is your mixed feelings about it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Denise, go.
The abortion thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, the abortion thing. It don't. I mean, I think they should have the right to like do things what they want to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just the whole thing is, yeah.
Gotcha. So I guess you're falling asleep. Look, bro, this is the wrong time. If you're getting high, listen, I understand, do your thing, but right now don't be coming up in nobody's thing. Just be like, yeah, I'm gonna catch you later, bro. Thanks for watching. All right, cool. So going back to the conversation, what so my thing is this Roe versus Wade thing harmful to Latinos? I'm gonna go with Denise. Go ahead.
I don't think it's harmful to us because most of us have the baby and have the consequences. And I would say, even though we are also affected by the problems in America, like feminism and whatnot, we still, for the most part, in certain areas of Latin America, keep up with our traditional ways. So a lot of our women are still in the kitchen. And if they're not fully in the kitchen, they're halfway in the kitchen or doing both at the same time. So it's not necessarily affecting us to that degree because we are having the babies. It's affecting, for the most part, American people. And by that, I mean black and white, not Latinos per se.
I would say somewhat yes and no. And this is the reason why I'm saying that is because I see a lot of first and a lot of second generation Latinos actually start adopting this American mindset and having aborts like left and right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see it is for longevity terms, I'm just saying, for what I've researched, having multiple aborts messes up a woman's walls, doesn't it?
No, that's not true. What happens is that there is a potential for harm to your uterus, and then on future pregnancies that you might want to keep, there is an associated risk with abortions. But no, it doesn't mess up anything. I mean, and that's what I
said. Yeah, beaches just want the daddy to give y'all more baby money so y'all can hit the clubs while the baby is home hungry later for you.
Jesus
well, that's one way to look at it because
seriously, and I would say this to anyone that's defending this whole fetus concept.
Okay.
Going back to what we were talking earlier, just go ahead and read every procedure depending on the weeks that you have on a pregnancy. Read the procedures, how they are performed, and now imagine how it really happens. Because I think a lot of people, it's very easy to say that's a fetus without knowing how the fetus is quote unquote killed, right? But when you go in there and read how they cut the limbs and suck the baby out and all this stuff and disrupt the placenta and all this stuff, and the baby becomes aware that he's going to die and he fights the abortion as any human will fight death, then you start understanding that, yes, it's an assassination.
Danny says it ruins the uterine wall from scarring, causes a certain procedures, makes it harder to carry a fetus to pregnancy. That's what I've read too. You disagree with that, Denise?
It ruins like he said, the uterus, but not like your walls, like, you know.
Well, that's what I meant. The wall.
Oh,
that
yeah,
the baby.
Of course. The womb, your womb becomes more prone to, cysts and fibrosis and scar tissue and lesions and stuff like that. So it can, even during the procedure, there is a risk. You have to sign a release form. There is a risk of uterine perforation.
Wait, how you know so much about it? No,
because I read. Come on, no, I've never had an abortion because I'm pro-life. I've always been pro-life. But there is a risk associated. There's a lot of risk associated. You can also bleed to death.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of risk associated with having an abortion.
I'm gonna move it on to Zach. Zach, do you think that Roe versus Wade is negative to the Latino community?
You're talking to somebody who was asked to work for Planned Parenthood here in Houston, Texas in 2010. Says I'm bilingual and I reject the job. Yes, it is. Avita King, Martin King's niece on EWTN, because I'm Catholic, mentioned that the Planned Parenthood in Southeast Houston is targeting sisters and Latinas by Third Ward and Magnolia and Gulf Gate area, right there by 45. They're the largest Planned Parenthood. Yes, they are. I know Latinos who worked at Planned Parenthood and or promoted it. Also, too, I had female friends, co-workers who are Latina have abortions. And I was in El Paso, Texas, and at David El Carrasco Job Corps Center back 2004 and 6. I'm trying to be shorthanded right here. Planned Parenthood was active. They sterilized the girls, teenage and adult women at Job Corps in 2004, 5, and 6. They taught sex education, and that's mostly Latino, right there by Juarez. So yes, there are targeting Latinos. Yes, most Latinos are Catholic, but not all. It's a lot of like a radical is a former Protestant. 'Cause I'm ex-Protestant myself. I can tell you're Pentecostal. Used to be Pentecostal. There's a lot of Latinos who are not even Catholic or don't even practice Catholicism, and some going Protestant or they going to other religions as well. And it is targeting Latino community because they want a low population. And yes, with what's her name, Jane Elliott said, they want that population because in Mexico, Obama approved for abortion to be in Mexico and other Latin countries. There's a lot of abortion going on in I think Venezuela and Colombia. Am I correct? So yes, they're trying to depopulate the Latino community like they did the African American community, as what Rakim was saying, because they were targeting the largest minority community was African American people. So I had to say it like
Gotcha.
that.
All right,
Mhm.
cool. I'm gonna move it to Rakim. Rakim, do you think that this Roe versus Wade thing is negative to Latinos?
Me personally, I think it's indifferent because I know a lot of Latinos, at least that I personally know in my personal life, never really gotten abortions anyway. They was more, usually if they had
Really, you
children.
should come to the Bronx, bro. I know like at least 20.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I should be more Pacific Mexican when I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Okay.
They never gotten abortions. Usually a lot of the young ladies I knew I went to school with, they were married by 23, 24 and having 2, 3 kids with their husbands. So I don't know many Boricuas that has gotten abortions. It may be, but for the ones that I know, they didn't really get any abortions, anything like that. But just from what I've seen, I think it might be indifferent because like in the Latin population, they usually have the children. It's not really a situation where they're running to go get abortions like that. Not saying that you may have more American born second and third generation Latinos that are doing it, but for the most part, at least from what I've seen, I think the Latin community is indifferent.
In my experience, I believe you are right. More Central and South American Latinas choose to have the baby. I see more Caribbean Latinas be like, "Yo, screw it. I'm just getting an abort." You know what I mean? I see like I don't know why the switch is so different, but I could probably just guess
Because there's places in Latin America where feminism has wrecked femininity. We must accept this reality. Hey, I'm from Puerto Rico and I've seen it. I know women that have had 3 to 4 abortions in the
aborts.
island. Oh yes, they use that as a birth control.
Yeah, I somebody that I know, she uses that as a birth control as well.
Yeah,
I'm a,
it's
I'm a, I'm a,
insane.
I'm gonna go to Roy Chess real quick. Roy Chess, do you think that this ruling negatively affects Latinos?
Yes. Like most of the arguments that will come about will be that it only affects the poor people the most, as rich white women, going to be able to fly out whenever they want. But if you have a Latino population that wants an abortion, they don't have the financial capacity to take on another child. Let's say she has 3, and now the 4th one's on the way, and they don't have the funds for that. It's going to be ridiculously hard to manage. So that's why many people do get abortions, right? So especially if they're married. And that's usually the excuse that they use if it's a married woman, that she has 3 or 4 already, and this one is just going to be over the top because of the expenses. Not to mention the hard work that it's going to take. That if she has a job, now she might be in the jeopardy of losing the job because she has to manage too many things. So
I want to read this comment real quick. How is it that the statistics say Black and brown women have the highest abortion rate, but yet the face of pro-abortion rights are white women? Anybody wants to talk?
Because
answer that?
Black and brown women are not the ones with the highest abortion rates. That's what Planned Parenthood wants to tell you, but it's not the reality. Because there's abortion clinics, there's OBGYN performing them on white women that have the means to do that. When you look at all of those percentages encompassed, you will see that 60% of abortions are performed on white women.
right,
Really?
so it's a disadvantage for the people who can't afford it, right? So you're forcing birth on them, and you're forcing
We're not
expenses on
forcing.
them.
It's not forcing birth because,
Yes, it is.
no, because look at this. There is, if you look at the percentage, women of all the women that get, the A words,
The boards.
and
Aborts.
the boards in the U.S., women under 19 only encompass out of the 100, 9%. The majority of the abortions happen in women between the ages of 20 to 29 and 30 to 39, being 57%, and the rest 31%. Women from 40 to 49 are only 4%. So women my age, close to my age, that are supposed to be adults already, are the ones getting the majority of the abortions. Now, the reason why I say they're not forcing us to give birth is because there is stickers, rings, dissolvable strips, there is spermicides, women condoms, diaphragms, male condoms, injections, pills, vaginal rings, IUDs, Nexplanon. There's a lot of stuff. And when everything fails, you have plan B. Now, women will want to tell you that birth control is 99% effective, and that is absolutely true. But then when you combine your birth control of preference with a condom and a spermicide, which is what you should be doing as a woman, it's 100% secure. The odds are really thin that you will get pregnant. And even if you do, and there's a possibility, you should be checking yourself. And you still have time in most of these crazy states that want to regulate it in 6 weeks. You still have time, if you're sexually active, to realize, hey, I am pregnant. Let me just get rid of this before the baby becomes a little human in there.
Big.
But the Plan B is
facts.
illegal also. You're not
Plan
allowed
B
to do
is
that
not
either.
illegal. No.
Yes, it is.
No,
Yes,
it's
it is.
not.
In Texas, it is.
No, it's not. No,
Yes,
it's
it
not.
is.
No,
Anybody in Texas that
no,
want a
it
Plan
is.
B hookup,
Check it
let me know.
again.
Let me know.
You got to
Plan
check it
B-
again. You
Excuse
can't.
me, if I
I'm
can,
from
if I can,
let me
excuse
explain
me, if I can
why.
chime in.
Let me
Go-
explain why. Let me explain why real quick. Abortion is legal in Texas up to 6 weeks. Plan B can only be used 72 hours after reckless sex. So it's still legal. What is not legal in Texas right now, that I disagree with Texas on that, is certain medications that are used for IVF fertilization, because they interpret that as an abortion pill, and it's not the truth. It's
You
just a
can't even mail it. They can't even order it from the mail. That's why I know it's illegal. You cannot.
No, you
do
can
it.
never order it from the mail unless you're like in an extremely liberal state. But what you
Like
can do,
Texas doesn't allow you to mail it in.
no, of course, in many states, even before Roe v. Wade was
Yeah,
overturned,
you can't
many
mail it in.
states,
Yeah.
even
So it's illegal.
Puerto Rico will not allow you
No,
to
that
mail
doesn't mean
in
that it's
Puerto
illegal.
Rico. Yeah,
No, it's
It just
illegal.
it's not
means
illegal.
it just means that there's a
It's
restriction on
regulated.
it. That's it. That's all it means.
Even in Puerto Rico, you will have to go to your
Oh, so
OB
it's like
to get a
you have to go through
prescription.
you have to go through rings of fire to get it. Like, come on,
In
that
Puerto-
means
in
that
Puerto
means it's
Rico-
illegal,
No, pretty
bro.
much. So
That's
there was
not
a
illegal.
there was a story that came out a couple of years ago where a woman pretended to be a physician and she ordered Plan B for herself, under a physician's name, and they sent it to her. Everything was fine. The only reason why she even got caught was because she bragged about it on Facebook like a dumbass. And the thing is that she didn't go to jail or anything. She just got a fine. But the thing is that she got a fine for was, I think, interstate commerce or whatever the case is. The thing is, it's not illegal to obtain. It's just illegal to to have it through the mail or whatever the case is. But overall, you could go to Texas and buy a Plan B. That's not illegal.
Because you can still have, and it's still considered within the window of abortion because it's only effective 72 hours after reckless sex. So again, it goes back, and I'm sorry that I'm gonna sound like many women have called me whorephobic or misogynistic or whatnot, but in the past, and it's something I was even talking to with MK in the past, men, when we used to belong in the kitchen, men used to have sex with women and get them
The good
pregnant.
old days.
Literally, when you would tell the man you have sex with, yo, I am pregnant, he will blink, and when he opened back his eyes, he was cutting the cake in his wedding. That was the consequences of having reckless sex for men in the past. We want it outside of the kitchen, and that it's okay. Now we have the option to be either in or out of the kitchen, and then we want it to behave like men. But then we want to be men with accommodations because we don't have it in us to act like them. We don't want to assume the responsibility. Having sex out there is a risk that you are taking regardless of all the precautions you take. Just like when you get in your vehicle every day, there is a potential for you to get into a car crash that can even kill you. That's why even with insurance, you are at risk, but you still take that risk and you don't walk or go in a camel. You still get in the vehicle, and it's the same thing that women don't understand. There is risk associated with everything that you do, but you're still doing it anyways. So at the end of the day, you want men to have extra consequences. It doesn't work that way because men don't have, after conception, any control whatsoever of your pregnancy. Their consequences have always been there. Men don't have a form that they can file and say, oh, I decided I don't want to be a part of this pregnancy because it's undesired or unplanned. No,
100% true. Yeah, that's true.
They will have to pay child support whether they wanted the baby or not.
Talk that shit, Denise.
Women are the only ones that we have these rights to actually decide if we want the responsibility that comes associated with
Fresh and fit Denise
or not. No, but it's true.
It's true.
Even if you go to the state of Texas that people are criticizing right now because of the measures, the state of Texas is one of the states with the strictest child support law. You can only go 6 months without paying it, and you will go to freaking jail. In California, here where I'm at, you cannot pay for 2 years. So that shows people the hypocrisy of like, oh, you don't care about babies. No, California doesn't care about your baby because it will allow you to be 2 years uncovered by the responsibility that men have.
I love everything Denise is saying. She's gonna get the Summer Jam screen right here. Bang. Okay, I think Jose wanted to challenge you. What's up, Jose?
No. It's not a challenge. I'm just gonna share a true story. Okay, my mother, when she was 40 years old, she was carrying my youngest brother, and it was a high-risk pregnancy. And the doctor advised her to have an abortion. Now, this was back in 1973 when it was legal. Now, my mother had to face a difficult choice, whether to abort the child or carry the child to term. Now, my mother was a God rest her soul, because it's going to be 2 years next month that she passed away. My mother was a God-fearing person. So she decided that she's going to, she went through the pregnancy. Everything worked out fine. But the fact of the matter is this is a very difficult choice. And again, and I keep saying it again and again and again, there are so many different types of birth control. which both the male and the female need to do if they really want to avoid not just an unwanted pregnancy, but sexually transmitted diseases. So this issue regarding abortion is a personal issue because my mother experienced it herself. So this is not this is not theory for me. It happened in our family.
Yeah.
So this is not theory.
But do you understand that the reason why the movements against the decision is not about just abortion? It's about the privacy rights. That this is going to spark other things. That what's coming next. If you look at some of the signs, they're saying what else are they going to do? Because the Supreme Court has overruled
you're
lots
right.
of cases.
No, you're right.
So what's to stop them from overruling other ones?
They're saying that this might open the door for overruling women's birth control rights, meaning that
other
it'll
things are
be
coming down the line.
illegal.
You guys are missing all that. You guys are focusing
illegal,
on this.
I think they might overrule gay marriage. They might overrule.
Yes. So you guys are missing all this. You guys are focusing on the sex.
But you know what's the thing also, even though I agree with the fact that this opens the door for a lot of stuff, the door was open when the same people protesting today Roe v. Wade, and make no mistake, if they try to fuck with birth control, even though I am married, I don't need birth control by any chance. I support women and their birth control, and I will protest that too. But these same people protesting Roe v. Wade because it's convenient to them today are the same morons that 2 years ago started telling us that it wasn't our fucking body and our fucking choice with the vaccine, and did not want to let us work unless we got the vaccine. They opened the door. Now they have to live sadly with the consequences of sharing that shit up. And it's the same thing that we've been saying about censorship.
Make that point again. Make that point one more time.
That door that we're talking about being open, about my body, my choice, or like the freedoms of America, was opened by the same people that are protesting today Roe v. Wade. They were the ones cheering on that we were put on this jab, that we didn't know what the hell we were putting in our body. And they told us for like the whole fucking 2021 that we could not work unless we were vaccinated. Get the vaccine and shut up.
I get it.
So this is the consequence. This is the consequence of that. They opened that door.
She's right.
And not only that, in New York City, close to 1,500 municipal employees were terminated for refusing to get the vaccine.
Yeah. I definitely agree to that. And with that being said, if you guys want to hear the backstage conversation, definitely join us with the link that's provided. With that being said, I'm gonna catch everybody later.